Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 9 of our podcast. Lily,
Oh yeah.
how are you
Hello.
today?
I'm doing pretty good today. Got an early start. Got a little work done.
Yeah? What kind of work?
Yeah.
Oh, your landscaping job, or?
Yes.
Yes.
Landscaping. Mostly fertilizing today, but it was all right. It was early, so it wasn't that hot yet. Um,
I was gonna say, how would you rate the weather so far while doing your work?
um, I mean it's not ideal because I do have to wear long pants most of the time.
Yeah.
Uh, Poison ivy and all that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm kind of tough and cool. Don't worry
Ooh, she's tough and cool.
about it. But besides that, my car's in the shop right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my passenger's safety system was not functioning properly.
Uh
So,
oh. My phone's in the shop right now, still, so.
oh geez.
Um, I did see a message saying repair is in progress, so at least there isn't any like error, hopefully, in that I
Yeah,
did
they
find
just forgot
something.
about your phone.
Yeah. They said 5 to 10 business days. It's the seventh business day, so
Hmm.
I'm kind of on edge with the phone, especially
Yeah.
nowadays. A reminder for everyone to stay safe, and very thoughtful at the moment.
Yeah.
But let's
Um.
go ahead.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get in our little conversation about this week's topic, which is Harry Potter. Going back to basics.
Yes, something comforting, the
Yeah.
back to the basics. What age would you say that you got into Harry Potter and read Harry Potter?
Definitely. I think it was like middle school. Definitely. I think it was like mid to late middle school, like seventh or eighth grade.
Yeah.
Um, and then I continued reading them through like freshman, sophomore year. I don't really remember, but
Okay. And did you watch the movies while reading the books, or did you read the books first and watch the movies?
I I had read. Okay, no, I saw the I saw the first movie at one point at a friend's house
Mm-hmm.
like on her really super old like VHS TV, and it was the most like
Hell yeah.
grainy, weird VHS in the world. But it got me kind of caught onto it, and I was like, maybe I'll read this book.
Mm-hmm.
It was just it was like, oh, this is kind of fantastic, kind of fantastical. Um,
Yes, it is a
but I
very alluring world.
yeah, it really is with the grand halls and the candles and the robes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all very, yeah, it is alluring is a good word.
Yes. Um, I started reading it because my mom was obsessed with it from like a
Yeah.
very young age. So I remember reading like the first two books in third grade, and then just kind of like obsessively reading it as I got older. And so I
Hmm.
think I finished it by the time I was like in sixth grade. But I didn't watch
Nice.
the movies. I didn't like the movies. Um,
I didn't really like them either, but I felt like I needed to watch them.
yeah. I remember it was scary. I saw Goblet of Fire in theaters, and it was
Oh
no
yeah.
context. I had no context. I was like, I don't know, 8. I don't know why my parents took me to see Goblet of Fire when I was 8.
Yeah,
Um,
that's PG-13.
and it was scary, seeing Voldemort kill people.
Yeah, straight up kill a guy and then oh my gosh, Goblet of Fire would be the okay, no, Goblet of Fire or Half-Blood Prince would be like the worst one to just like see out of context.
Yes.
Just because it's like in Goblet of Fire you have that scene where oh my gosh, he's cradling his son's body and screaming, "My son!"
I know, right?
It
There's like
hurted.
there's like weird fetus bodies and then
Yeah.
blood. It's crazy. I put Harry Potter aside from around like throughout high school and I completely forgot about it. And now that I'm in
Mhm.
college, I have cable, and they have those Harry Potter reruns, and I forgot how
Yeah.
dark Harry Potter is. Like, it's
Yeah.
very grungy, you know?
It gets pretty intense.
Yes. It's very dark, like cinematically wise, like in terms of
Hmm.
lighting, and in some parts, it's pretty scary. If you lived in the world of Harry Potter, you
Yeah.
better watch out.
They said we are how old you got your I always mix it up with Percy Jackson. Like the age that you go to Hogwarts. It's 11, right? You get your
Yes,
letter at 11.
yes.
Okay, yes. Um so imagine being 12 and fighting a giant snake. What?
uh,
In a sewer?
I think I'm a pass on that one.
I think I'm gonna pass on that one.
I don't think I'll blame the kids for being a little bit suspicious that this guy with a scar on his forehead claimed to be the chosen one now speaks to snakes and
Yeah.
opens up chambers and
Yeah.
claims that an evil lord is out and about, you know?
Yeah, thinking about it like that.
Thinking about it like that, yeah, if you were in that world, there was some politics in there, right? And
Yeah.
it was fun. But I guess we've kind of talked about the general theme of the world already. Um, the magic system, I think, is what sets Harry Potter from a lot of the other fantasy worlds.
Mhm.
Um, you have this idea that magic is sort of a genetic trait, and you have
Yeah.
wands, which honestly, the whole wand system is really cool about how wands choose the user. And
I really do like that. It's an interesting magic system, and it's a little softer.
yeah,
Um, but for the purposes of this story, it works really well to have a soft magic system, just like narratively.
yes,
Um, because there are some stories where it's like it is really fun to play around with the rules of this hard magic system, and that is part of the fun of it.
hmm
But sometimes, if you're just trying to like tell a story and you already kind of have it, magic can just be like a thing to help.
yes. And the
Um,
idea that you're going to a school to learn magic
yeah.
and you're like brewing potions. Oh my gosh. Some of these kids are ungrateful because I think I would be obsessed to make potions, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
work with Hagrid on with mythical creatures.
Yeah. I'm sure they stink just as much as regular barn animals
Yes.
do.
Yes. 100%. But you know, writing out my own bestiary,
Yeah.
um, or be like Neville and work in herbology.
Yes. Please.
That's yeah, that's more along your line of interests.
Yes.
I think I would enjoy. Hmm. I think I would enjoy potions class the most. I think that would sound really
Yeah.
fun.
I never really liked labs, so if we had to write
Uh,
reports on the potions, I probably wouldn't like it very much, but I would like the actual making of the potions.
Especially with Professor Snape as your
Uh,
instructor.
yeah. And I can be kind of thoughtless and sometimes I don't read recipes correctly. This has happened to me so many times when cooking, where it's just like I just completely don't put in an ingredient. So when I'm cooking, I try and be very fastidious about
Yes.
reading it over and over and over, and I
Right.
still miss things.
Mhm. I was just cooking cookies the other day, and I
Mhm.
put too much baking soda in there because
Uh,
I too kind of was daydreaming, and I was like, 1 teaspoon, no, 1 tablespoon
oh yeah,
of baking
duh.
soda.
How do they turn out?
They were still yummy, you know. They were just a little puffy, you know. That's what the baking soda does, make them
Yeah,
puffy.
but that's good. I mean,
Yeah,
nothing wrong with a little puff.
yeah. They were just a little bit thicker, you know. Um,
Mhm.
but anyways, I wanted to also still fangirl about the whole idea of the wands, right? He's like, phoenix feather core or
Yes.
unicorn strand, and then and then they sell this, right? This is the unfortunate part. They sell this at Orlando Studios, where you go in and you experience
Yeah.
the same thing, where they make a wand for you for like $80. Have you been to the Wizarding World
I've not
in Orlando?
actually.
I've only been.
I've heard that butterbeer isn't as good as you would think.
I went there in sixth grade before they built the whole Diagon Alley portion. So
Really?
it was only the Hogsmeade portion,
Mm.
and I had their butterbeer, and I kept that cup that they gave me for like 6 years. But I remember the
Wow.
butterbeer. I mean, there wasn't anything fantastic about it, but my sixth grade brain was like, "Yum, that's good." Uh,
Yeah, that's good.
I also
Tastes like Harry Potter.
yeah, it tastes like Harry Potter. I also distinctly remember going into like the Hogsmeade candy shop, and they had like a 5 pound chocolate frog, and
Oh,
I was like, "That's a 5 pound chocolate frog," and the worker was like, "Hell yeah, you better buy that 5 pound chocolate frog." And I was like, "Oh, um,
you were like, oh?
oh." Um, but anyways, it's actually a good portion of the park, minus the whole. I'm not a fan of theme parks now, but as a sixth grader, I enjoyed being in Hogsmeade for a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but right into the politics of Harry Potter. Thought
Yeah.
summary.
I really I really like that J.K. Rowling really just kind of she went off. She was like, all politicians are corrupt.
Hell yeah.
They can't get anything done, and bureaucracy is the worst. And I'm like, you're so right.
You're so right. And then you have this sort of anti-government movement underground, led by not exactly led by, but one of the leaders being Sirius Black and
Hmm.
the Weasleys and their little house in between the apartments. I think that is
Yes.
so cool. The part where like Moody taps on his staff and the apartments split off, and the people in the apartments like don't know a thing that their apartments are being moved, and then they go in
Yeah.
between.
It's really cool. I really think that they did a good job with that cinematically
Yes,
transferring it from the book to the movie.
yes. Um, but yeah, we again have a group of characters that don't like the government as well, and so they're anti-politics, but also engaging in political ideas.
Yeah. Just trying to do some behind the scenes work.
Doing the behind the scenes work. Um, yeah, because they don't want to be noticed, obviously, because they're in quotation marks just kids, so
Yeah.
they're making their own little impact. So in each movie, they have their own different type of impact that kind of goes into the whole overall playing of scenes of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Which movie would you say is your favorite, Lily?
Um, it's difficult because I do. I would have to say the fifth one. I like Order of the Phoenix a lot. I like the
Yes.
third book best.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Azkaban is just very good, but I just they did Professor Umbridge really well in the fifth one, and just a lot of it is so visceral. I mean, especially like the actual you see the when he's doing his detention work with the repeating I will not tell lies.
Yes.
Um, just seeing it on his hands is just like horrible, and I mean it's painful to watch, and it's a satisfying movie. even
Yes.
especially because the book is not necessarily the most satisfying book. Um,
Right, because you have this very eventful fourth movie, right? And the fifth movie
Mhm.
is sort of this aftermath where people are hesitant because they're like, okay, Voldemort is not back, right? And then Harry's constantly fighting this censorship from the government saying this idea. And
Yeah,
and then he has this whole underground. Yeah, I actually do really love Order of the Phoenix, and I'm surprised that you've said this because usually whenever I tell people Order of the Phoenix is like my favorite Harry Potter movie, they're like, "Yeah, it's so dark and nothing really happens," and I'm like, "The ending of Order of the Phoenix? Oh my god,
yeah. I mean,
phenomenal!"
youch, youch. That one hurt me as a kid. I cried so hard. I cried my eyes out. I mean, I was just like, that was nasty crying, just sobbing. It was horrible.
Yes, I would have to say Sirius Black was one of my favorite characters, and
Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too.
probably why it plays a pivotal role in why it was also my favorite movie. Um, I do also enjoy Half Blood Prince for sort of getting into Snape's angsty teen boy life.
Yes. I don't really love him
No.
as a. I mean, it's just there's too many backs and forths with the character. Like, is he good or not?
Yes, he's
Without
morally
being
gray.
like, yeah. I just he's not as interesting as he could be.
Yeah.
He his motivations are very simple, and it's like he's in love, but he's also a selfish person, and it's like that's understandable. It's not really anything new for me though.
Oh, okay. I
Also, I really don't like the Snape Lily stuff.
I have to say
It's
yes.
it's yeah,
Where it's like he kind of creeps on her a little bit. It's sort of
yeah,
like the incel mentality where it's like I'm the nice
yeah,
guy. Why don't you like me? Why are you going for this jock? You know?
exactly. And it's like he may be a bully. I mean, we also don't really stand James Potter. He
Yeah.
wasn't really a great
Come
dude.
on, Lily.
I
Lily
mean,
Potter. Not you.
come on, Lily. Um,
Not you.
like she could do so much better than either of them, and like they're obviously not on the same level. Like James is on a higher level, even though like he was a bully.
Mhm.
Um, but, like Snape also called you a slur, Lily. Come on,
Muggleborn.
Muggleborn. I mean, seriously, don't let yourself be treated like that.
Don't let yourself get treated like that. And then there's that jarring scene where he's like hugging her dead body. Um, I think it's in Half Blood
Yeah,
Prince as well. Um,
it just strikes me as, I don't like it.
I don't like it. I
Like if you really cared about her, you would help get her only son out of there. I mean, like,
Yeah. Why did you disrespect her memory? I know he had this whole plan and everything, but he could have been a little bit more less bitter, you know.
yep,
Um, and then I also have to agree. I really enjoy Prisoner of Azkaban. Um, the whole time turner thing where we stand Hermione Granger and Emma Watson at the same time. Um,
hmm
where she goes to several classes. She turns back time to go to several classes.
which
Um,
is very iconic.
iconic. Growing up as a third grader reading these books, Hermione Granger was my role model. And
Yeah.
I also have like Emma Watson's hair from during that time period where it was just like poofy and frizzy, and I saw
hmm
her and I was like, oh my gosh, Hermione and I would be best friends. Um, and also the third movie with Lupin. Lupin's a cool character.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, where they bro goals where you give each other code names and you make a map that keeps track of everyone's movements.
Yeah, what? Y'all are weird for that.
You're a little weird. I'm not saying that some of them are gay, but
I am I am saying that. But also, okay, I'm gonna lay it down right now.
okay,
I
lay it
don't
down.
want I don't want to address any of like the tokenism that J.K. Rowling does. I don't really support any of that. I don't really like her as a person. I respect her struggle and the like the depression that she was going through when she wrote these books, but like she is not like a champion for any kind of representation, and I don't I don't like it when she keeps speaking out about the books. I believe in the death of the author mentality most of the time,
Yes.
and this is one of those moments. And I'm not going to go into a lot of that because it's been done to death and it's been done a lot better than I can do it. So
Yes.
yeah,
Um, I mean, have you seen the newer Grindelwald movies?
I haven't. I'm boycotting them because she was like Dumbledore's gonna be gay, and then
Yeah.
she was like he's not gonna be gay,
Oh, she went
which
back?
yeah, she went back in order to because they were like, yeah, he's going to be in the movies, like actually gay. Like we're gonna have it confirmed. Like
Oh,
we're
and
gonna
she
do it.
backed off when they told her that.
No, no, no. She was the one who was like, let's do this, and then they she backed off after they realized that it like
Uh huh.
it wouldn't track for certain audiences or something. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know the
she was.
specifics behind it, but I know
Alright.
that the movies, he's not going to be gay in them, and I plan on watching none of them in theaters. I'm not giving my money to that.
Okay. Um, I watched them. I was an incredibly big fan of them. Um,
Yeah. Also, Johnny Depp is also an accused abuser. Not to be like, ugh, but like, ugh.
I thought those were rescinded. They were like fake accusations.
I'm still not sure about it. I looked really deep into it, and I'm still not sure about
All
it.
right, we
Um,
don't have to touch on it, but you know, I only see things the headlines that I read online. So, um, anyways, let's go into
anyways.
favorite parts of Harry Potter. Did you have any distinct moments while reading the books, or probably you probably more likely remember the movies, but things that happened that were your favorite?
And it's been a long time since I've either seen the movies or read the books. This is kind of complicated. There are a lot of cute moments from the movies, especially like in I think yeah, fourth movie, where Hermione is talking about like, oh, like such and such has a crush on you, like she thinks you're the chosen one, and he's like, I am the chosen one, and it's just funny, and she hits him on the head. Um, it's very, very cute.
Just kids being
Book
kids.
wise, I really like when um Ron and his brothers come and break Harry out in Chamber of Secrets
Mm-hmm.
from his house, which I just think it's just a good moment.
Yes.
I really like it. And when he leaves in the third book, when he's like you can't stop me. I'm leaving. Like
Right.
goodbye. Um, and they're like, oh, you can't do this and this and that. And he's like, I will do magic at you. Um, I like the night bus, all that kind of stuff. It's just
That's a classic.
there's a lot of fun little things. I really like the little things.
That same movie with the bus where they have to stroke the spine so then they can open the book.
Yeah,
It's
which I
another
think
cute little detail.
it's for me. This world is very much about the details. It's about like oh, like what the Whomping Willow, like it's
Oh
cool.
my god.
Why
Yeah, it
is
is
it
cool.
sentient? Who knows? I like it. Um, like the little like the candies and the pranks that like Fred and George do. Just it's all about the little stuff. It's all about the little
Yeah,
stuff.
it's definitely Harry Potter is known for its world building and its little small elements.
Hmm.
Um, I let me think. Some of my other favorite. Dobby was a really good character that I thoroughly enjoyed, and a lot of his scenes I liked. Um, like when Harry was clever and gave Lucius his journal back, and he's like, "Don't you remember you put this diary into Ginny's like knapsack back at the bookstore, right?" And he's like, "Okay, smartass, okay." And he gives Dobby the book, and then Harry's like, "Open the book," and Dobby opens to see that there's a sock in there, and he's
Yeah,
like, "Master has presented Dobby with this sock," and then, you
yeah,
know, cute little moment. The idea of like house, they're called house elves, right?
yes.
The fact that they're elves make my make my heart warm. I think it's interesting. That's why I think maybe if I was in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, I would look into other like races. You know, global studies, but like racial studies. You know,
Yeah.
um, that would be so cool. Um, anyways, let's see other favorite parts. I love whenever they went to Hogsmeade. I thought just the setting and the idea that it's like this sort of almost fantasy esque sort of village, even though it's like modern times. Um, and they're like singing choruses and magic candy shops. And the books go into it more, though. The movies kind of like brief over with these little quick scenes, but in the books they go more into their like time, and Harry goes on dates at Hogsmeade. I think that was like my favorite part, like reading the books.
Hmm. I think so too. I like I like just whenever they go shopping in Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, I'm like wow,
Yeah,
the shopping of it all.
to buy a cloak at Hogsmeade.
To buy a cloak at Hogsmeade.
To buy a cloak at Hogsmeade. Um,
To be able to buy a familiar.
to buy a familiar. To buy an animal required animal companion to go to school with.
Yeah, what? Why did they require that? Isn't that strange? Did they ever have use for those? Were they ever like, hey, use your rat.
Use
Use
your.
your rat for this. No. They didn't have to have those.
What are you supposed to do with the rat? Why wouldn't you buy an owl? You know that would make sense because that's how you like sent letters. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Again, a favorite part: the idea that you sent letters by owl, and it's like.
Yes. Which is very fun.
It
But
is.
there is a discussion to be had about like how the people of the wizarding world are very like traditional and stuck in their ways and absolutely will not like use things use new technology that isn't magical. Like they would rather use a magical solution even if it's like roundabout, which is very silly to me. Like
Mhm.
it just you can send letters by mail. There's a mail system. It's really efficient.
It is. Hey, just and the owls have personalities, right? And like the
Yes.
one owl by the Weasleys kept crashing into the window, and everyone knew it was like their owl because of that.
Mhm.
And not to mention Hedwig, iconic, even has his own theme musically, and his death traumatized millions, you know?
Mhm.
Um, God, to send a letter by owl. God.
And the letter by owl.
um,
I personally like carrier pigeons, but that's just me.
oh, I don't know. I don't think I really like pigeons in general.
I like pigeons so much. They're just like doves, and people don't like them for no reason. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they they do poop all over stuff. But like all birds do that. All animals do that. Get over it.
They
Pigeons are just as good as doves.
they have an interesting noise. I like the noise that they make, but
The
in general, yeah, being a common city dweller where there's flocks of pigeons, they could be kind of terrifying. Not gonna, not
yeah.
gonna lie.
They're not like magpies. Like we
Uh,
have there are worse birds in the world.
right. So let's
Yeah.
go into least favorite parts. Um, does anything come to mind for you in terms of least favorite parts?
Least favorite parts. Oh man. I mean, a lot of the stuff that it's like, oh, I didn't like that happening
Mm-hmm.
is like, oh, well, it was important for the development.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm thinking
mm,
right now the last book and movies were
mhm,
very drawn out, and
yeah,
I mean it's supposed to be a depressing time, but you kind of trudge through it a little bit,
yeah, it's definitely
and
kind of heavy.
it is kind of heavy. It doesn't really match the rest of the movies, and I mean of course it doesn't, but it's different. It's weird. Um, I think also, okay, I enjoyed that romance didn't play. Okay, romance did play a part in the books, and it didn't really play a part in the movies.
Hmm.
They kind of just, have like 1 second that kind of shows, okay, they're going to end up together. Um, and I have to say, I don't really like the Hermione Ron matching. I'm I'm whatever
Yeah,
about the
I can
Harry
give or
Gin.
take it.
Yeah, I'm whatever about the Harry Ginny matching,
Yeah,
and I think Harry kind of mistreated Luna at times. I think,
yeah,
um, yeah, Harry was a little bit of a jock as well, um,
hmm.
and you kind of wanted to like
Mr. Popular.
Mr. Popular, kind of wanted to smack him around, like you said before, where he's like, yeah, but I am the chosen one, and you're like, oh my god, you
Yeah,
know,
oh man.
oh man,
Like I get it, like he deserves it because for all of his life he's been like abused and like malnourished and like not popular. He's been like the weirdo. Um, so I guess it's fine. He can have it.
he can have it. He can
He can
have
have
some
it.
egocentrism as a treat.
Yes. Um, what else? What else is there for this topic?
Um, Least favorite. Um, oh, what was her name? That was Cedric's girlfriend, and then was with
Oh, Cho.
Cho. Um, I don't remember her first name. I keep wanting to say Arden, but that's like an actress, Arden Cho. Um,
No, Cho Chang,
Cho Chang. All right, there you go.
which is a weird name to give the only Asian American character in your series, but we want to.
um,
Other people have addressed that better. I'll just sprinkle that in there.
Yeah, her character, I found it very hard to like her. Um, it was very awkward between Harry and her, and it just kind of was like, why? Why am I reading this? um,
Hmm.
it
I
kind of
just,
weird. It kind of weird that he was like he claimed that he was like very close friends with Cedric, right? And then
yeah,
and then he had a crush on Cho beforehand, but then
yeah,
he
just 'cause
still
she's like
goes for
cute.
her. Yeah, I. It just felt weird for me. I don't know. I guess the whole romance aspect of Harry Potter made me feel weird. It didn't sit right with
Yeah,
me.
she's not really a J.K. Rowling is not really a great romance writer. She's
No.
stick to the adventuring and we'll be good. Um,
um,
but yeah, yeah.
let's go into iconic characters. And
For
I'm
me, like, oh, you go.
Oh, are you sure? I'm gonna go immediately. I'm just gonna say the name and then you can go on. I'm gonna say Luna Lovegood. That's it.
Luna
We
Lovegood is so iconic. Okay, J.K. Rowling did say weird girl rights, which is very nice.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, she just like she sees things that other people don't. She feels very deeply for other people.
Yes.
She is a little like out there, but I mean, she's just awesome. I love her. I love Miss Luna Lovegood.
Miss Luna Lovegood. Yeah, and
Luna
her whole vibe, and she's dreamy, and I feel like she and Harry have this sort of like connection, um,
Love-
which they do bond over with the whole like I think the creatures were called kestrels, where
Yeah.
you can only see them if you've seen someone die. Again, oh my god. Um Crazy. I just that blew my mind when she said that
Oh,
and
that's
yeah, and the
best.
yeah, and they were like I don't see they're the carriage is always pulled by themselves, right?
Yeah, which
Um
is I just when that happens, I'm like, wow, that hurts.
yes. Um and Luna and Harry exchange these like conversations, right? And they're like personal, right?
Yeah.
That's why part of me shipped Luna and Harry because they
Mhm.
had some sort of inner connection and they were different enough that they could like collaborate, but they had some sort of common ground.
I
Uh,
mean, personally, I think Luna would deserve better,
yeah,
but
you're right. Luna would deserve better.
she deserves someone who gets like who she is, not just like a connection, but like someone who really like understands her and like
What she sees.
yeah.
Yeah, understandable. Did
Yeah.
you have any iconic characters that you were thinking about?
Ginny, I mean, like
Oh,
she's just cool. Like not in the movies, like they stripped her of any kind of characterization
yeah.
besides love interest. But in the books, it's like, oh, like
Lily. Uh oh, I think I've lost Lily. Uh oh.
but
Oh, Lily, I just got you back.
you
Hello?
just go, oh, so you didn't hear any of that?
No. So you saying
Okay.
not like Ginny in the movies where they stripped her, but Ginny in the books and then insert whatever you said there.
Okay, stripped her of any characterization in the movies, but in the book, she's like, she has to sneak out in order to play Quidditch, like in order to like practice, like even at home, like she has to steal one of her brother's brooms, and
Yeah.
like she's
Uh-oh. Lily? One second, maybe she'll come back. She's responding back. Oh, she can't hear me. Uh-oh. Oh, Lily, I can't hear you. I see the green circle around your portrait. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Let's try this again. Uh-oh. Uh... Alright, folks. Lily's internet is going in and out. But thank you for joining us in our discussion of Harry Potter. Being a little bit brief. Stay safe, and thanks for tuning in.